Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Oh, welcome back to the 3-0 Tech presented by Chinook Seedery. This is episode 547. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
KC. How are we?
I'm feeling the juices are flowing, man. You know, we literally just talked about it before we hopped on, but shout out to the LSU Tigers. And I'm not necessarily saying I got a dog in the fight in this College World Series, but what fired me up last night, was watching that kid for LSU go CG winning the ball game by a score of 1-0 through I think it was 127 pitches, maybe.
That's big time.
The coach comes out. I think he's got like one out left. He had just given up like a walk or hit or something. I had it on in the background. We had some people over, but I was trying to keep an eye on it. The coach comes out. I think he needed like one more out, and everybody's going, crap, this is where he's not going to get the full 9. Classic baseball moment. Coach is like, this is your game to finish. Leaves him in there, gets the win. Dude,
See,
I need more of it in Major League Baseball.
I wonder if there's like a psychological aspect to that, because I don't think managers get enough credit with like the psychological aspect to helping players. But like, imagine going that way. You know what I mean? Like amping up your guy so much by like walking out like that. Like, I'm going to hold my breath because I might get pulled right now, but he allows me to talk my way into finishing this thing. And
Correct.
Then it's like, good luck. If you're in the box after that, good luck.
I got fired up. I'm not on the mound. I'm not at the ballpark. I'm not in this game. And I'm like, let's freaking go.
Yeah, it's sick. I love Coastal Carolina for just like their uniforms and their colors, I think, are so sick. And I love that, like, I don't know, man, it's such like a baseball College World Series school. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that school does not matter in any other sport. No offense. No disrespect. But like, it's just college baseball for that school. You know what I mean? So the part of me is like, we've seen LSU a lot. We've seen that a lot. There's always dudes coming out of that school. Something about Coastal Carolina, man. I'm kind of into it. When you have your guy go CG game 1, you got the entire staff to throw at you game 2 to finish this off. You know, it's like anybody gets in trouble, you can just bring in the next stud. It's gonna be hard to see LSU losing this thing.
Hard to overcome that. Yeah. But yeah, man, I got the juices flowing. So I'm ready to talk some ball today. I am ready to do and achieve the unthinkable. We are going to cast the perfect all-star ballot, which is going to be difficult to do given that we presumably will have different picks for our ballot. So this is going to be interesting.
This is the first time that you and I have. I did mine yesterday. I did one yesterday. You did one yesterday. So we're coming in with those answers versus every year we've done this, we've like talked each other through it. Now we're going to try to convince each other to maybe change some picks, which I like.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Are we settled on submitting a singular ballot here? Because you mentioned what we've done in the past. I think we submitted our own respective ballots, like separately.
Yeah, but I think we've agreed on everything. But we can do a collective one if you want.
That's going to be the challenge. We're going to have to talk each other into some picks here.
Yeah. By the way, I think you can put this game on. It's on ABC.
I'm not logged in on ABC.
Well, it's like the ESPN on ABC thing. Anyway, Should we set some parameters for this? Should we like set some?
What are you thinking? This is an open experiment here. I'm down for whatever.
You remember in Friends where like Ross and Rachel are talking about what to name their kid, and they had like vetoes to give. You'd be like veto.
Correct.
Like maybe we're allowed like one veto each. If we're like really saying no, we can't find common ground.
So then what happens in place of a veto?
The guy that doesn't have the veto wins. I don't know.
We'll workshop it. We'll workshop it. All right.
I think we're gonna be pretty similar. I feel very level-headed with my choices.
That's a great way to describe it. I feel very level-headed, but I also feel pretty strongly about my picks. Like I looked at the numbers.
I did too.
And I also I'm gonna keep it real with MLB.com. I hate that they indicate who are the number 1 and 2
I hate that.
Leaders right now.
Yeah.
Talk about skewing the votes.
Yeah, that sucks. Don't do that.
That's terrible. Like
don't do that.
Don't lead the people. Like don't lead me to the water. Like just let me find the water myself.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Not to go on too much of a tangent, that kind of reminds me Michael K had a kind of a cool idea when he was talking about like instant replay and like challenges. He was like, if there's a way for New York, the people in New York, whatever that, it reminds me of like the banker and Deal or No Deal, by the way. It's just like a dark shadow of a figure walking around. Like we don't know what these people look like.
They say New York. Do we really know that it's in New York?
I don't know, but he was saying like if there's a way for them to not know the call, like not know safer out, not know catcher, no catch, like for somehow some way to not know the call,
sure,
and then make the decision strictly based on the replay. I was like, that's a really cool idea because you were saying like, let's figure out these votes on our own. Like, you don't need to sway me into the most popular vote. You don't need to sway me into that call. Let me just figure out the call. Anyway, tangent.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, if you're listening or watching and haven't, you don't know what we're talking about, haven't voted yet, if you go on the ballot on MLB.com, and actually here, that's actually a great segue here. Let me pull this up here. Okay. All right. Here we are. So as you can see, they've got the top 2 vote getters at each position, like which I hate for many reasons. One of which, again, I don't feel like you should be leading the voters, but also like if you're going to do 2, why not do 3? Like why stop it? I don't know. That was a minor gripe. I'm like,
that's fair.
Top 3 is a pretty standard.
It's a respectable gripe.
Standard range. Anyway, we are going to set out, as I said, to do the unthinkable. We are going to craft the perfect all-star ballot, the infallible ballot, the ballot to beat all ballots. Okay.
Excellent.
So let's just start where they have led us, and that is the position of first base. Nate, I tweeted out yesterday. I said we're putting our votes out tomorrow on tomorrow's pod, meaning today. And I said, prepare to be upset. And I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, I think some people are going to be upset right off the top.
Probably, but that's okay. We're not here to people please.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
My ballot. This is our ballot.
I'm not here to Nate please. And
understandable.
And by that,
I'm not either.
By that, I mean that I'm not selecting the current top vote getter in Paul Goldschmidt.
I'm not
for
either.
My American League first baseman. You know why? Because that's a disservice to the rightful vote getter, vote earner, the representative that should be at first base in the American League, Jonathan Aranda.
We are on the same page, pal.
Okay, I'm glad because, I mean, what are
for those not watching? Shame on you. First off, second off, I understand.
I mean, if there's a time to watch, I mean, this is the episode to do it.
But if you can't see on your screen, Paul Goldschmidt's the number one vote getter right now. Vladdy is the number 2 for the American League first base slot. But Jonathan Aranda has had a fantastic year. Fantastic year. Real sneaky. I mean, the OPS is near 100 points higher than Paul Goldschmidt. Same
more
amount
RBIs.
of home runs, more RBIs, and he's hitting 50 points higher, 30 points higher.
30. No.
He's hitting 298. Yeah, 298 to 325. Like
27 points higher.
That's a big jump, dude. So yeah, Jonathan Aranda is absolutely my vote getter as well.
Okay, I'm glad we're on this.
And what I did, on my notes, I put this guy over this guy. So I put who I would put as my second one, and I put Aranda over Goldie.
I made a note as well. Yeah, and the fact that Vladdy, if you're so drawn to Paul Goldschmidt just because of the resurgence, the sort of renaissance season he's having, I can understand.
Yeah.
But to have Vladdy behind, it's not even like Aranda's second.
Yeah.
Which
is crazy, man.
Where's the respect?
I know. A lot of disrespect.
I hate it. I'm all about no disrespect, but Aranda's getting a whole lot of it. On the National League side, we've placed our votes for Jonathan Aranda. On the National League side, Freddie Freeman, the top vote getter, coming in today, hitting 322, 9 homers, 41 ribbies, 919 OPS. Folks, I hate to break your hearts, but that is not
that's not the right guy.
That is not the right guy for first base. Because you know who is? Nate, take it away.
It's Pete Alonso, dude.
Peter Alonso. What are we doing?
What a great year. Higher OPS than Freddie, more RBIs than Freddie, double the amount of home runs than Freddie. And he's still hitting 294. If he was hitting 230, I'd be like, okay, this may be a harder decision. But Pete hitting 294 and having this pop, yeah, it's Peter.
Easy enough. Second base.
This one's interesting. I'm wondering how you're feeling right now. Glaber is in first place, and it was Jackson Holiday in second place.
Jackson Holiday.
What are we
in second
doing?
Place. I mean, come
No
on.
disrespect.
Well, no disrespect, but also the second base position. I mean, historically
it's light.
It's a weaker offensive position, no doubt. But this year in particular, not very packed with production here.
Yeah. Is there anyone that kind of tickled your fancy and was like, I could maybe give this guy a nod? Without revealing your pick?
No. It's not, it's not who I went with, but a guy that piqued my interest a little bit.
Your fancy was tickled?
My fancy was tickled. Brandon Lau.
See, that's my vote. I went Brandon Lau.
Okay, well, that's the wrong answer. But it's Brandon Lau hitting 260. See, this is what I'm saying. This is where the voting system is flawed. You just look at these numbers alone. If you want to go into advanced metrics, whatever. But these numbers alone, a higher average than Jackson Holiday, more homers than Jackson Holiday, almost twice the amount of RBIs as Jackson Holiday, and a higher OPS than Jackson Holiday. And he's second. Brandon Lau is not even one of the top vote getters. So I don't know how that makes sense. But Brandon Lau is not the answer, Nate, because I'm gonna keep it real with you. I think the people got it right.
This was a tough one for me. But I put Brandon Lau over Glaber.
Yeah. I think I've got the people having this one right. Obviously Brandon Lau.
Can you talk me through it?
Well, maybe it's unfair to the rest of the All-Star field because I can't pick and choose when to use the team success narrative. But I feel like I went that route with Gleyber Torres, where I'm going, he's playing a part in that offense that is part of the best team in baseball. And this is the Gleyber Torres that I'll be honest with you, the years are sort of flying by. I think it was coming into last season. I was like, Gleyber Torres is going to he's just going to go off this year, isn't he? And then it ended up not being the case as much. But this is sort of the start to a year, or at least the first half of a year, where I was like, this is more along the lines of what I was thinking, getting back to that the glimmer in the pan, the flash in the pan that we had seen in years past. And I think he's on that track. And again, given the fact that the Tigers are doing what they're doing, that's why I went Gleyber here. But talk me through Brandon Lau.
I mean, 15 home runs to 7.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, and you probably don't, maybe you can look it up for me. Can you pull up his splits?
Yeah, I knew you were going to go this route because it is in Steinbrenner Field.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not accusing the guy, but I'm more so curious because I would like to know what the home road splits are for Brandon Lau. Because if you take out, well, let's see here.
So this could be interesting. He's got 11 home runs at home, 4 on the road. But to be fair, they haven't played a ton of road games because they're front loading all of their home games due to it being in Tampa and like trying to beat all the bad weather with rain coming, right?
Sure.
But he's hitting 278 on the road compared to a 256 at home. He's got a 417 slug on the road to a 494 at home, a 772 OPS to a 781 OPS at home. So like it's not that bad. Like I think he's playing good ball. It was, to me, like there wasn't enough of a gap between their OPSs, and he's got double the amount of home runs. Like that's where I'm at. And the fact that the Rays are doing what they're doing this year, I get what you're talking about, like the Tigers arguably being the best team in baseball. I don't think Gleyber is a massive reason for that. And I think it's one of those, like, knowing Gleyber, you could see these stats just be these stats at the end of the year. Like you could see him maybe tacking on like 4 or 5 more home runs and him finishing at 11 or 12 home runs this year. And he's going to have an OPS around 760, and he's probably hitting around 260, 270. Like that's just kind of who he is. Like you think he's going to fall off a cliff that bad? I don't think it's falling off a cliff because I think this is just what he is.
As it stands right now, what you're saying.
Yeah. Like I don't think it gets better than this. Like this is just who he is now. And I think, like with the resurgence of Javi Baez, like I don't know if the Tigers are going to continue to, utilize him every day in a way. And I know this is an all-star vote. We're not talking about like how the season's going to finish and who an all-star would be at the end of the year. But in my mind, like the Rays doing what the Rays are doing, Brandon Lau's a big part of that.
All right. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't.
You're not willing to die on the Gleyber Hill?
Yeah, I'm not willing to die on the Gleyber Hill.
Fair enough.
I mean, if we're being honest, I've got Brandon Lau on my fantasy team, so it's. I obviously saw something in him to warrant picking him up. But I tell you what, with the month of April that Christian Campbell had, he was set to be a lock. With again, going back to how weak the field is at second base.
Yeah,
he was set to be a lock, and then just plummeted.
Yeah.
So okay, I'll allow this one. I'll go Brandon Lau.
All right.
We can meet in the middle here. We'll go Brandon Lau.
Good deal. We might have two Rays hanging out in the starting lineup, bro.
Oh,
if people get their head out of their booty.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out. Oh, I see. You're saying with the Ronda.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying there's one to come. I was like, I don't know. I'd have to check the rest of my lineup here. On the National League side of second base, I mean,
think there's only one right answer here.
There's only one right answer here. Ketel Marte leading the field.
Dear Lord, having a year.
I don't think it's particularly close, if I recall.
It's not. It's not. And
Brendan Donovan minus the Jacks.
Throw him some flowers. Throw him some flowers. Definitely having a good year. I like that. And I had to, when I was looking up numbers, I had to double check on how many games Ketel Marte has missed. And it hasn't been that bad. I think he's still played like 70 games or something.
Yeah.
So he's still, I know he started off the season on the IL, and then I think he had one more IL stint at another point. But I mean, the OPS north of 1,000. He's got 13 jacks. He's hitting over 311. Like he is the reason the Diamondbacks are still like kind of hanging on to this year. And it's not by much. It's a very small thread, but he's a big reason for it. So could tell for sure. Do you know how old he is?
We've talked about this. How
he's
old
a
is he?
Sneaky one. He's like 33.
I mean, that's not.
No, but like
you had him pegged at being younger.
Yeah, because like I don't know. Like I feel like he didn't have. He's 31. I feel like he didn't have he didn't come onto the scene. Didn't come onto the scene as a big name until as of recent. And you also got to remember he spent his first 2 seasons with the Mariners.
True. Very true.
Wild. Anywho's, yeah, already told it up at 2.8 WAR this year. It's Ketel.
Let's move it on. Also, I'm seeing in the chat, casuals love batting average. I hope that's not a shot at us.
Yeah,
I think you and I have since moved on. Not forsaken batting average by any stretch, but we've moved on to greener pastures in terms of evaluating offensive talent.
I put when I was doing my voting on my phone, I sorted it by OPS.
Correct.
That's kind of the most important stat for me.
I was using average really as just like a tiebreaker. And even,
it's like
then,
a fallback.
Yeah, even then, even if it was close, like I would, in order for me to use batting average as a justifier, the gap, like you said earlier, the gap would have to be so substantial to even warrant using that as a metric to decide between one versus the other.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're casual, bro. You're such a casual.
Third base on the American League side.
Who's running this vote right now? Who's in first place? We got Alex Bregman in second place.
Jose Ramirez, currently the top vote getter, hitting 324, 13 jacks, 36 ribbies, 916 OPS.
I went with the people here.
I as well went with the people. Honestly, if Bregman would have stayed healthy.
That's what I was gonna say. If Bregman was still playing right now, I think this would be a different conversation. But like him being out, and it's been out for a while, it's impressive that he still has those numbers. After he's been out for what, 3 weeks now?
Close to it.
So the fact that he's still got 11 jacks, but yeah, J-Ram has, even after a little bit of a slow start, J-Ram has come on.
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I had to stop myself from saying like if Bregman had stayed healthy this entire season, it wouldn't be much of a question. But I think it would be more of a conversation than I'm indicating because J-Ram has had, I mean, to no one's surprise, he has had quite the first half here. So
yeah. Little
J-Ram.
Never thought about voting for him, but a little nod to Junior Caminero.
Yeah, you know what?
19 jacks, I think.
Yeah, I mean
50 ribs.
My goodness. 833 OPS. Not bad. Not bad at all. But yeah, we're going J-Ram here. National League side.
This is interesting. I'm real curious on what you're thinking.
Oh yeah. Okay. This was another one. This was another one where I knew we were gonna upset some people here.
All right. First place currently is Manny. Second place is Max Muncy.
Yeah,
Max Muncy's a joke.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No disrespect.
Yeah. No disrespect. Actually, no.
Disrespect.
Disrespect to Max Muncy. I'm glad you got the eyesight figured out and everything, and you're having a little bit better of a campaign. But you're no second place in my book,
No.
Mr. Muncie. So intended disrespect there. I'm gonna keep it real with you here. The real number 2, in my opinion, and this is gonna upset some people, Eugenio Suarez. Because if I'm going to an All-Star game, I just don't have interest in watching a one-dimensional player. And no disrespect to you, Eugenio Suarez, 25 jacks is nothing to turn your nose up at. I understand. Yeah. But to me, I got to give it to our guy, Manny Machado. And I've said, be prepared to be upset. And I know that's going to ruffle some feathers, but that's my vote. And I'm sticking to it. And I have a feeling that you're going Eugenio Suarez.
I have Gino over Manny. I do.
All right, let's hash this one out.
25 jacks, brother. Like, that is hard to leave that off. And we're still a few weeks out. He could creep up close to 30. If he's got 27, 28 jacks before the All-Star game, you're nearly on pace for 55, 60. Like, and not an All-Star? That's crazy. Manny's great. Manny's been great. Hitting 309, 12 jacks is nothing to like shrug at. 876 OPS. We know the defense is elite, but like, I don't know, man. Gino is to this point where like, if the Diamondbacks don't start turning it around, that man's going somewhere and going to be very impactful in the postseason. Like, that's what he's bringing.
I mean, I get it.
25. And the OPS, what is Manny's at 876? What's Gino at?
892.
Now we do have a 50-point difference in batting average. So,
but that's what I'm saying is like
58 point, I think.
You can solely attribute Suarez's OPS to just his home run power. Manny's got like half the homers, but he's still in that territory.
I get it. He's a doubles machine. I get it.
And he's hitting 309. See, going back to my point earlier, this is an example of
58 points. That's a big gap.
I'm not saying batting average is the end all be all, and it shouldn't be, but like that's noteworthy enough to me where I'm like, you're still in the same ballpark OPS. You're also, a well above average defender.
All I'm gonna say is
he's just
I will let it slide. I'm not gonna die on the Gino Hill. But if this man has 50 plus home runs at the end of the year, that we look back and say he wasn't an all-star.
Okay, well, Eugenio Suarez, as of right now, 2.6 WAR on the season.
Manny's going to be higher because of defense.
Manny's at 3.
Yeah.
I'm
like I said, I'm not willing to die on the Gino.
Can we agree?
Hill, but these are the top 2.
Sure, no doubt. No, these were the 2 that I was deciding between. And I'll be honest with you, it was a tough decision.
I'm be honest with you. I'd take Austin Riley over Max Muncy.
Where's Austin?
Probably take Matt Chapman over Max Muncy. Like,
when are we going to have a conversation about Brian Hayes?
I think it's all done.
No disrespect, but what?
I don't know. I could see him switching teams because he's still very, very, very good defensively.
No doubt.
He's gonna bring some value somewhere. He's maybe gonna take a step back as like an everyday player into a role, but It's tough, man. It's hard to watch. The hitting is just really, really bad. It's gotten worse every year since his rookie year.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Before we move on here, interesting note in the chat. Hasn't Manny led the league in errors this year? Has he actually? A platinum glove defender leading the league in errors?
Gets lazy with throwing, man.
Well, that's just Manny being Manny, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That seems to that little saying phrase has seemed to been passed off from generation to generation. I wonder what the next Manny is going to be. Is it just the name that carries that baggy pants and little hot dog style of play?
How many errors does Manny have this year? He's got. Oh, yikes! Yeah, he's got 11, leading the league. Okay, well, okay. Generally speaking, an above average defender. I mean, he's a platinum glove winner at the very least. So, you know, whatever. Okay. My case kind of falls apart defensively a little bit this year, but still more of a multi-dimensional player than Eugenio. Are we willing to agree Manny here?
I'm willing to agree.
All right. So one compromise each.
Yeah.
I went Brandon Lau. You're going Manny.
I'm curious. I think there's some tricky spots, but I think we're gonna agree over the next couple.
Let me pull up my notes here. Shortstop on the American League side. Dude, when I say that I was unaware.
Yeah, bro.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
When I say that I was unaware about the year that Jacob Wilson is having.
Yeah. I knew he was just a bat to ball guy. I knew that he just never struck out. I knew that he also never walked. I knew that he's got happy feet in the box. I knew that the average was going to be good. I didn't realize the pop would be there a little bit too.
Bro's hitting. That's another. Can you look up? Let's look up some splits for Jacob Wilson.
All right.
Because I actually saw an interesting note yesterday where it was talking about how a good chunk of the next portion of the home schedule for the A's is going to be at a certain time of day. And I don't remember if it said like late afternoon, evening, whatever, but it said it was going to be consistent and that was going to make the field play even smaller. You'd have to look up the game times. I don't know what they are, but
that's interesting.
Yeah, that it was going to make the field play even smaller. So that's only going to contribute, I would imagine, to this production thus far. But Jacob Wilson
splits.
Coming into today, hitting 353, 9 homers, 40 ribbies, 890 OPS. And look, I understand Bobby Witt's not having the same caliber year that he had last year, but it's still Bobby Witt. And
it's crazy. Like it's safe to say this is the down year of Bobby Witt. This is like the low end of production, which is nuts.
He said like 283.
It's still
guys would kill for that. Yeah, can I hit 283 in the big league? Sure.
Yeah, 100%.
OPS of 831.
Getting over to Mr. Wilson's splits, pretty interesting. Hitting 368 at home to a 336. 418 on base to a 361 on the road. 533 slug to a 460 slug for a 951 OPS at home and an 821 OPS on the road, which is still very respectable. Here's where things get crazy, though. It's their day versus night games, and that's just the thing that you were bringing up.
Yeah.
During the day, he's hitting 440. Night, 300.
So maybe I think that's what it was. I think they're going to be like they're going to have a lot of afternoon games coming up, is what I read, and that how that's going to, like I said, just make the field play smaller.
Yeah,
so you're going to see a lot more run production. Over the next.
He's 1.112 OPS during the day, a 7.55 at night.
There you go.
So that tells a lot of the story. But look, man, the A's are doing things different. The A's are doing things different this year. There's a lot of excitement with a lot of different guys. And I do feel like a new chapter has started. And we can get all corny and just say, hey, it's getting out of the Coliseum. And, yes, they're going to be in Sacramento for a couple years. And obviously the chapter is moving in a new direction, going to Vegas. Fine. All of that stuff. But like, there is legitimate talent on the field. And this kid is a refreshing style of play. I'm 100% behind Jacob Wilson.
And to that point, like, this isn't just some quirky, like you said, guy that I think a lot of people interpret him to be, of this just bat to ball, like, let me just crank out some singles each game and call it a day. Like, no, this guy is going to be the starting shortstop at the All-Star game.
Yeah.
So,
I do want to give
that
some
is
flowers.
a refreshing style of play.
I do want to give some flowers, by the way, because if you scroll up a little bit, I was actually kind of leaning Jeremy Pena as the second place spot.
Yeah.
Over Bobby Witt. And I love Bobby Witt. But Jeremy Pena is, I feel like, really kind of coming into himself this year and like getting back to what everyone was being hyped about and why the Astros decided to move on from Carlos Correa. This is the type of player he needs to be if they're going to build around him, and the Astros are going to keep doing what they need to do.
Yeah. I'm with you there. But yeah, without a doubt, Jacob Wilson, the leader in the clubhouse for the shortstop out of the American League. National League.
Let's see if we did our research here, because I'm very much against both the first and second place voting
there's
here.
There's no research that needs to be done here. I mean, it's right in front of our face. Right now, Francisco Lindor, the top vote getter, coming in today, hitting 267, 15 homers, 41 ribbies, 803 OPS. Not bad.
Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Definitely not first place worthy.
Neither is Mookie Betts, hitting 255, 9 homers, 37 ribbies, 732 OPS. No. Nay. Not the top vote getter. But you know who should be the top vote getter right now, but isn't?
Say it. Tell the people.
Ellie De La Cruz. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. You're not. Oh, I know. You're a Trey Turner truther.
I went Trey over Ellie, and
okay, that was, well, to be fair, that was the guy that I was flip-flopping.
Okay.
As a Trey truther myself.
But I don't think I put enough looks into Ellie, because now that I'm seeing numbers, I think I got to switch.
Trey Turner hitting 298, 9 homers, 35 ribbies, 805 OPS. Ellie De La Cruz hitting 264, so a little bit of a difference there. 17 homers, 52 ribbies, 835 OPS.
I think that's what did it for me. Like, I know there's a big gap between RBIs, and I know there's like a big gap between home runs, but I don't know, like kind of the argument you were having with Gino's OPS being attributed to his home runs, that kind of gives me that same feeling for Ellie. And I don't want to punish Ellie for the ballpark he's in, just because it's definitely hitter's ballpark, but it's more of the home run hitter's ballpark. It's not necessarily a very big outfield for doubles and triples. So I don't want to like punish him for that argument, but at the same time, like, I can't give the nod to Ellie so easily on RBIs, just based on where, Trey is hitting in the lineup. And there's a big gap between average too. So like, this one was a tough one. I don't know if I'm willing to die on the Trey Hill either.
On to your point about extra base hits, Trey's got 25 doubles, no triples, to Ellie De La Cruz's. He's got 14 doubles and a triple.
So a lot of that OPS is attributed to those home runs, which, like, Say what you will. It's not, I can't.
More than half.
Yeah, I can't say, hey, like that's a bad thing. Like I can't punish you for hitting home runs, but
Sure.
I would say the same sentiment about Ellie De La Cruz, but what we said about Bobby Witt. Like if this is, you know what I'm saying? Like if this is like not the most spectacular season and this is kind of the floor for you, it's still very impressive. I still think Ellie De La Cruz is top 3 dynamic player as far as all tools go in baseball. But I leaned towards Trey here.
All right. Well, where are we gonna settle here?
I don't know, man. I mean, make your arguments.
Well, I mean, outside of the, I mean, Trey's got a sizable gap hitting for average. I understand. More homers, more ribbies, higher OPS. What's hold on, let me see here. Let's see defensively. Yeah, we know Ellie's not great defensively.
Right.
I'm a sucker for a good quality defensive shortstop.
Shame on you for
Bias does
liking
play
something
there.
so boring.
Where are we at with Trey? Wait, now hold on. Okay, never mind. That was 2023. Yikes! Led all of baseball and 23 errors for Trey in 2023. Led all of baseball in 2023. Ellie led all of baseball in 2024.
This, I don't know, man. This is tough.
And I believe Ellie's got 21 swipes to Trey's 19.
See, that's kind of a wash.
I mean, what's the tiebreaker here?
I don't know.
What's the OBP clip they're getting on? 344 for Ellie, 355 slug, 450 for Trey, 493 for Ellie, OPS plus 123 for Ellie, 120 for Trey. I don't know. Have we said WAR? 2.4 for both. I don't know, dude. This is tough.
Anybody
okay in the chat.
I'm okay going Ellie as the RBI's tiebreaker. Because it is like what is it, 17 RBI gap? 35 to 52, right?
17. Yeah.
I think if Trey was hitting like 315 or 320, I think that would be my tiebreaker. But I think I got to go Ellie, I guess. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. It's crazy that neither of these two guys are the top 2 vote getters, though.
Right. Yeah.
And Lindor's having a nice year. I could maybe see him in the 2-hole. But Mookie getting votes is, and like, come on.
Ellie finished 8th in MVP voting last year for anybody that cares. You know what? Maybe I'll just make that my tiebreaker. Trey Turner did not receive MVP votes last year.
Fair enough.
Which obviously carries great weight. Obviously carries great weight for the 2025 season.
Yeah, this is a tough one, but I can lean Ellie. I can give you that.
Man, I thought we were both on the same page when we both kicked Lindor and Mookie to the side.
I did. I thought so too, because I know how much of a Trey guy you are.
I love Trey, but
yeah, I like Ellie a lot. I don't think that. And look, let's be honest. Who has the better chance of having putting on an absolute show at the All-Star Game? It's probably Ellie. So.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up.
We're going to see a show.
Going back to our National League third baseman conversation.
Yeah, Manny putting on a show.
No, well, I think Manny put on a show, but if we're looking for fireworks, Eugenio Suarez might be the guy.
Gino could sneakily win, pop a couple and win MVP, and you're just like, whoa.
I don't. Now I'm wondering if I should change my vote on the National League side for third base. We'll revisit it. We'll have a chance for final arguments.
Fair
okay, enough. Catcher. Okay, American League. We already know.
Yeah, it's
absolute lock. Carlos Narvaez. Hey, I think he's like top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting right now. So put some respect on his name.
As a 38-year-old. I'm just playing. He's 30
he's
for anyone that's wondering. I know. He spent a million years in the minor league system for the Yankees.
He's not 38 though.
He's 30.
Bo Naylor, come on down. Hitting a $178. It should be illegal to have names on here if you're hitting below 200. I'm sorry.
I agree. If you're not off the interstate, you can't be on there.
What are we doing?
It's Cal Raleigh, baby. 31 jacks.
That's disgusting.
It's absurd. Can we talk about the fall off of Adley Rutschman? What is happening?
I don't know, man.
What is going on with him?
Did he have... Who am I thinking of?
Didn't he dump his girlfriend before the season? And everyone's like,
not what I was going to say.
Everyone's like, oh, here comes Adley getting locked in. Here he comes. He's been terrible for like a year now. Like for a long time.
Did he... Who did he just have a 2-homer game, or am I thinking of somebody else?
To bring his OPS to a total of 691.
Relax. No,
Joke.
It was definitely he had a homer back on the 16th, but that was it. Otherwise, nothing to write home about the last 3 weeks. Yikes. Yeah, man, I don't know. He's missed some time, but still. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh, though, my goodness. And if for the people that are
potentially be like the top, I know it won't be just because it's a popularity contest, but should probably be getting the most votes of anyone.
I would.
This is historic.
Disagree. Yes, but I mean, and don't. Is this some reverse psychology trick to make me defend or make a case for Judge being the top vote getter? Or do you just want to hear me glaze Aaron Judge right now?
I'm not against it.
I mean, how would Aaron Judge not? In what world would Aaron Judge not be the top vote getter?
I don't know. I'm putting a lot of value in the fact that he's a catcher. And catching,
I get
catching
it.
and producing is
which goes back to what I was saying about Eugenio being a one-dimensional guy. People will probably hear me say that and they go, well, all Cal Raleigh's doing is hitting home runs. It's not even close, actually. He's playing one of the most challenging positions in all of sports, actually. So
yeah.
We're not going to overlook that. And one of the best at it, by the way.
Correct.
So yeah, easy pick for Cal Raleigh behind the dish. National League. Where are we at here? Yeah, National League top vote getter right now. Will Smith hitting 328, 9 homers, 42 ribbies, 969 OPS. Carson Kelly.
Place.
Carson Kelly, the number 2 vote getter, is wrong.
Correct.
I mean, the man above him. People have been
correct.
People have been cooking me in the comments, being like, Hunter Goodman should be the representative for the Rockies, and he presumably will be. But even though he won't be starting,
man, Will Smith is having an insane year. Hunter Goodman's having a great year,
deserving of some respect.
It's good to see, and this isn't like a participation trophy for the Rockies of him being on the roster, which he likely will be. You're going to need a couple catchers. This is a legitimate deserves that spot. So I'm glad that we're going to have a White Sox on this team that you're just really we just because we have to have somebody. this for the Rockies is solid, man. Impressive. Good for Hunter Goodman.
It's
Will Smith.
Will Smith coming out of the National League, correct.
969 OPS.
Let's, just for the sake of suspense, let's come back to the outfield. Let's just knock out
the best.
Yeah,
the best.
We got some things to talk about with the outfield. So let's get down to it with the DH here. American League.
I'm curious if you agree here.
We probably, dude, the DH coming out of the American League did not excite me whatsoever. And we have Rafael Devers to thank entirely for this being a lackluster position. Now, I guess the leader, I think the fans have it right as of right now. Do they not? Ryan O'Hearn?
I have Rooker over Ryan O'Hearn.
All right. Well, let's look at Ryan O'Hearn hitting 305, 10 homers, 29 ribbies, 867 OPS. To Brent Rooker's 272, which is lower. 15 homers, 5 more than O'Hearn, 41 ribbies, more than O'Hearn, 832 OPS, which is 35 points lower. State your case.
I just didn't like Ryan O'Hearn's comments.
What do you say?
Well, after Devers got traded, he's like, I'd like to thank the Red Sox front office or whatever. Like, huge shout out to them.
I mean, if you're going to say something.
That's all. That's my only reason. It was like 3 weeks before the All-Star game. Like, relax, guy. You're not going to, you think you just have a lock on the All-Star position for
have some awareness. He knows he's at least in the running. I mean, look at this, dude. Jock Peterson hitting a $131, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, 507. Judge is hitting 507 at this point in the season. Anthony Santander 179, 6 homers, 18 ribbies, 577 OPS. Jorge Soler hitting 207. Abraham Toro is like in the upper upper echelon of this list, a lackluster list at that.
It's pretty weak.
Just Yandy Diaz put some shine on his name.
Yandy's coming. That guy's been swinging it. Maybe getting a cannon soon.
Yandy hitting 283, 12 jacks, 44 ribbies, 796 OPS. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Screw up. No, hold on. Screw up. I'm willing to. I was just. I didn't like the comments. That's all. So
it had to have been in jest. I didn't hear the tone, but you got to think he's just having fun with it. You're not actually bothered by Ryan O'Hearn's comments, are you?
Well, that and him, we talked about him being like the #1 trade deadline guy, and it's just like, what are we doing? What are we talking about?
That's not his fault, but yeah, the fact that Ryan O'Hearn's getting touted as like the go-to bat.
I'll have a prediction. I predict that by the All-Star game, Yandy Diaz will have better numbers in at least 3 of those 4 categories that we're looking at.
Than O'Hearn.
Yes.
Well, he's already got more homers. He's already got more RBIs.
He's got 22 points to come up with on average and 70 points on OPS. I'll put that in.
71. Yeah, 71 points.
I'm coming for you. It's Yandy.
Yeah.
I might even switch it. I don't even want Brent Rooker anymore. I want Yandy. He's on my fantasy team.
That's fine. Well, you can switch to have him as your number 2 because Ryan O'Hearn, as of right now, is the guy.
Okay, fair.
For now, hey, I'll hear you out, but we're placing our vote right now, so we got to go with what we know. National League DH.
Boring. Just go do it.
Hey, before we click the button, though. Can we talk about the year Christian Yelich is having?
Welcome back. Seiya Suzuki.
He's having a quality
Very
year.
good year.
Suzuki, I think he just I think he just went yeah just moments ago.
That's good because I watched him make a play on a ball in right field. That was pretty sad to see.
Gavin Smith and another name.
Sheets.
Who? What did I say?
You combined Gavin Sheets and Pavin Smith.
Gavin Smith, welcome to the show. No, Gavin Sheets is what I was saying. Gavin Sheets having a good year out in San Diego.
I mean, Schwarber is not anything to just shrug at here.
No,
23 jacks.
That's Eugenio Suarez, dude. You would make the same argument for Schwarber as you would Suarez. Except Schwarber's actually a DH.
Players. I know it's tough to compare these players because this is why they get paid. This is why Schwarber and Gino are getting paid. Is because like this is what they do. We're not paying them to hit 280, 290. You know, like they're doing exactly what they should be doing.
I get it, but I'm gonna go with a more multi-tooled player.
Before we scroll up, what jersey is Marcell Ozuna going to be wearing at the end of the year? You had a prediction on that?
Was there? I can't remember. Was there any truth to that rumor with him in Boston, with the package that
Chris Sale?
Yeah,
It'd be hard to see that happening, but
no. But I thought no, not with Duran. I'm not talking the Duran set. The Braves got brought up in the Devers conversation, didn't they?
I don't know.
I think Ozuna was part of that. Except I don't know how much. Again, I don't know if there was any truth to that, but
probably not.
I don't know, man. Are you just going to assume that he's not going to be wearing a Braves uni by the end of the year?
I think if the Braves are smart. Plug him as a Mariner. Him and Randy, I bet, are probably good friends.
Probably boys. Yeah. I could see it. I can see it. But Shohei Ohtani hitting 288, 25 jacks, 44 ribbies, 996. OPS. What does what's Cal's OPS this year again? Do you remember?
It's like just under 1100.
1039. Holy cow, dude.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Holy cow. All right, here's where
Sounds
things
like a
get
t-shirt.
interesting. That t-shirt exists, except for a different Cal. This is where things get fun. This is where things get fun.
This is the best of the whole ballot.
This is where feelings are going to be hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where feelings are going to get hurt. Aaron Judge, I hate to say, buddy, you're on the outside looking in this year.
Shut up.
I mean, 1195 OPS is all you could put together. Give me a break. And you're supposed to be the face of this sport. My goodness. Okay, we'll go Aaron Judge as the clear leader, the top vote getter, hitting 367.
I'm super excited to see where you go after this here.
Are you now?
Yeah. Give me what you have.
Okay, well, my number two pick, I'm looking at him right now.
Me
Byron
too.
Buxton.
Yeah,
Byron Buxton. How about it? Have a year, man. Hitting 280, 16 jacks, 46 RBIs, and an OPS of 906.
Bro is back.
I regret dropping him in fantasy. Without
I'm sure
a doubt.
you do. But he's the ultimate teaser.
I was just waiting for the inevitable
Shoot a drop. Yeah.
out 3 to 4 months headline, but here we are.
All right, buddy. Who's that third spot going to?
My third pick. I'm just double checking here. I already know who the pick is. I'm just making sure I didn't overlook anybody. No disrespect. My third pick, again, going back to lacking awareness of the year that this individual is having, Riley Green.
Dude, we're 3 for 3.
Riley
Let's go.
Green, yes. Riley Green of the Detroit Tigers hitting 291, 17 homers, 59 RBIs, and an OPS of 875.
And how many games have we played so far this year? Where are we at? We're at dang, sorry, I had something else pulled up. Where'd it go? So the Tigers have played 62 games. And I was curious on how many, no, not Hunter Green, Riley Green has played. I'm confused. He's played 76 games? What's wrong with Baseball Reference?
What are you trying to figure out?
The Detroit Tigers are 40 and 22, but somehow the Baseball Reference page has Riley Green appearing in 76 games this year.
Tigers are 49 and 30. I don't know what you're looking at.
What is wrong with my ESPN app? 40 and 22. What is happening?
Clear your cache? I don't know.
Maybe. I'm bad at that. I am bad at that. We can't trust any of the stats I just read off for the last half hour on players then.
Oh, love that. This guy says all the time, ESPN trash, ESPN's trash, and continually uses ESPN services for his research. It makes no sense to me.
I'd like to say I can cruise through. All right, so he played plenty of games.
He's played 76 games.
Yeah, because I was worried. I thought he was out for he didn't start the year with them. So I was like, how many games has he played? But the fact that he's put up 17 jacks and 59 ribs, like hitting 291, this is absolutely the choice. He's playing very good defense out in left field as well. Like, dude is a freak, man. Dude's an absolute stud.
Rounding out the outfield, Riley Green on the National League side. This is where some feelings are gonna get hurt. If they haven't been hurt already.
This was hands down the hardest vote for me, was the NL outfield. Hands down.
For me.
Who's your number one?
I'm going to refrain from ranking my NL outfield votes because I don't.
Who's your number three then? We'll go backwards here.
I want to refrain from ranking my National League outfielders.
Oh.
Okay, so
my number one was clear to me.
Well, let's start with you. Who is your number one? My number one was Jason Hayward, the recently DFA'd.
No
Jason
disrespect,
Hayward.
bro.
No. Full disrespect. Full disrespect to the recently DFA'd Jason Hayward.
It's crazy to me that Jason Hayward has a job and JD Martinez doesn't.
I don't get how baseball works sometimes, man.
Me neither.
Who's your top? Who's your number one that's so clear?
James Wood.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. James Wood has been fantastic. Keep going. There we are. Just crazy good numbers. 21 jacks, 57 ribs, 935 OPS, which is better in every category except batting average and not by much. He's only 4 points lower than Kyle Tucker. He's got him beating everything else. Like, that is the number one vote getter in my mind for the NL outfield. Been great, and he's going to continue to be great. He's gonna be up there as far as national greats as long as he sticks around. As long as they keep him around, I should say.
Okay, so Kyle Tucker obviously in the mix. Fernando Tatis, another guy that's in the mix here. A guy that Juan Soto also in the mix. A guy that I actually went with is we'll just call it number two.
Okay.
If I can find him. on here somewhere.
I know exactly what you just saw. That made this so difficult. I spent 10 or 15 minutes just in the NL outfield.
Is it in our effort to craft the perfect all-star ballot, is it a sin to have Corbin Carroll in the National League outfield?
Here's where we're struggling, people, because like the 20 home runs, easy. Like that should get you in. 44 RBIs, that should get you in. A 914 OPS, that should get you in. But he's hitting 255.
How many swipes does he have this year?
I don't know. I don't trust my stats anymore.
Don't look at ESPN. Go to literally anything else.
He's got 10 swipes. The on base actually isn't great.
Okay,
341.
Let's do this. Do we both are we both in agreement?
Okay, let's just say let's compare Corbin Carroll to Kyle Tucker.
Okay. Kyle Tucker. My goodness, there's a lot of names. Kyle Tucker hitting 282.
Better.
14 homers.
Only 6 less.
44 RBIs.
Better.
Was it?
Yeah, I think he had 41.
912 OPS.
A lot better.
Really? 912 to no. Carroll's hit
914. Oh.
OPS 94. Yeah.
Numbers are tough. Math.
And he also has the same amount of RBIs coming in today. So wrong on both counts.
I'm on fire today.
You're crushing it. 282 to 255. I mean, that's a substantial enough gap.
Let's just stop dancing around it. Let's put Alex Verdugo where he belongs.
Alex Verdugo, you are the top vote getter of the 2025 All-Star voting.
Has not touched all 4 bases yet. That's crazy.
Wait,
A big goose egg in the home run category.
Love that.
Starts with a V. Keep scrolling. It's alphabetical.
Oh, it's alphabetical.
Goodness.
Sure is. 0 homers, 603 OPS.
No. Oh, this is the only time that you and I will refuse to say no disrespect, because that is full disrespect.
Full intended.
Thanks for nothing, Alex Verdugo.
Ugliest disrespect. All right, let's shake things up here. You know, it's
Acuna hasn't been around long enough. I
know, but like, he's gonna be there. It's Atlanta. He's gonna be there.
Dang, that's such a good point.
So, but like with that said, I'm not wasting one of our votes. I'm not tarnishing this perfect ballot here with a vote for a guy that just hasn't been around.
Right.
So I'm going to go James Wood. I'll hear you out on the Kyle Tucker over.
I don't have Kyle Tucker. I have Corbin Carroll.
Okay, so then who's the third name? Because we gotta figure out which two we're dwindling, we're zeroing in on here. Who's your last guy?
I don't want to say it.
Yeah, you do.
PCA.
Okay, that's who I also have.
So we had the same outfield on both sides?
Both sides. Yeah, but
I'm liking it less the more I look at it.
I really did. I felt better about it coming in, but now I'm looking. Yeah, no, yeah.
I don't know, 61 ribeyes.
Yeah. And 868 OPS.
That's good enough.
Yeah, good enough.
Austin Hayes, appreciate your service. Juan Soto, not good enough. Be better.
Yeah, that's
not worth being a billionaire for. I'm going to need a better OPS from you, billionaire.
Yeah. Okay, then who's our third guy?
I think it's Corbin Carroll or Kyle Tucker, right? Fernando. Nice.
Fernando.
Jackson Merrill, nice.
He's missed time.
Elliot Ramos, nice.
He actually just got upgraded today off the
Did he?
IL. Yeah.
Good deal.
Tigers
are gonna win this, by the way. LSU.
I'm gonna have to go. I think I gotta go Corbin Carroll here.
6 more jacks. Slightly better OPS. I bet he's got a lot of doubles. He has 13 doubles.
What's his defense looking like? So how many swipes you say he had?
10.
Like 10. Yeah.
He only had 1 error in the outfield.
Kyle Tucker's got 18.
He's got 18 swipes?
Kyle Tucker, yeah.
He's hitting 30 points higher almost. Cubs are already getting PCA.
So what are you saying?
Do we spread the love? Give it to Corbin?
No, I was saying Kyle Tucker had more swipes. He had, what did I say, 18?
I know. But I'm saying the Cubs are already getting PCA.
Well, I'm not here to worry about spreading the love. We're here to present the perfect ballot. I'm seeing Andy Pajes in the chat. 292, 16 jacks.
Big nod there. Big nod.
847.
Big nod. Big nod. I'll take Andy Pajes over Juan Soto.
I mean, you would almost have to.
Yeah.
It's not much of a case to be made there for Juan Soto.
Boy. It's the OPS for me. I mean, that's a big gap between Andy Pajes and Carroll and Tucker. We've been at this for a while.
We need to zero in on this. Yep, that was our vote. That was our original vote, and we're sticking to it.
Yep.
It was sort of going back to how we started this thing about reviews and evidence being able to overturn. I didn't see enough evidence there to overturn.
Right. It's a call stands, not call confirmed.
Correct.
For now, it's a couple weeks left.
All right.
We can probably do this again. Maybe we make that a plan. When we get there Saturday, we throw one last ballot in or something. Probably have to be in by then, huh?
Well, yeah.
When do they have to be in?
What do you think they tell these guys like Sunday night? Like, hey, congrats, you've made it to the All-Star game. Get on the next flight out here.
I'd like to think that. When's voting due?
It's probably soon, because remember they do the multi-phase thing where you gotta pick your starters and so on and so forth. Because they do like the round, you do like top 3, I think, and then you got to pick starters or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Who knows?
5-1 LSU, bottom 5. By the way.
How about that? Well, that was fun. There's the
that
perfect.
Only took an hour and a half. What else do we got? Do you want to talk about anything else?
No, just closing the book here real quick. Mets just wrapped up a 7-game losing streak. They snapped that on Saturday with a win. Convincing win, if I'm not mistaken. Astros, to your point from last episode, running away with the American League West, it seems. The Mariners just coughing it up.
Shame.
But there's a lot of baseball left, but I'm just going off of track records here. So do with that information what you will. Ron Washington out indefinitely as manager of the Los Angeles Angels. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Apparently it was shortness of breath, fatigue, and just general lack of energy, it seems. That I think they're going to have to get some. I don't know what the latest is on that. I think he's probably getting
a
tests
leave
done.
of absence from work, because that sounds like me.
Yeah. Probably gonna have to get evaluated by some doctors, some medical experts, make sure everything's good there. We gotta have old Ron Washington in the game. You can't have that. We can't have too an extended of an absence there.
I know. All the Braves fans in the chat have always been like, hey, shame on you, Angels, for doing this to our guy. Should have just stuck it out as a third base coach and infield coach. You had it made in the shade.
The Angels are just putting undue stress on this guy.
Yeah.
Although, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a minute since we talked Angels.
You're wrong.
Am I wrong?
Two games under.
They're only 2 games under.
That's a team that has a lot of pieces, by the way. That is a team that has a lot of pieces that can move.
Relatively balanced American League West. I mean, like I said, Astros are sort of picking up steam here, but
they're like a team of everyone's plan C signings. You know what I mean? It's just a team made up of those guys and Mike Trout.
It's like it's like in a video game, if you're running like a dynasty or something, and you don't set yourself as the first pick in the draft.
Yeah. This is
and you're like 22nd on the board. Yeah. You kind of just end up with like slop. No disrespect, but like you kind of just you finish the draft and you're like, I'm not really excited about this. But
they do have a lot of guys that could help in places. Although I think Soler just went on the IL. Get better, Wash. Get better.
And lastly here, Rays in talk to sell the team. Rays are in advanced talks to sell the team to a group led by Florida home developer Patrick Zalupski.
Sounds like a winner to me.
Oh, boy.
No disrespect, Zoop.
I saw this. I read that he is the CEO of Dream Finders Homes, a company that builds and designs homes. I can foresee an expansion of that company to maybe include construction of baseball stadiums because they're in need of one.
Yeah. Stop using ours.
That's all I got. Let's have a good week.
Dude.
I
forgot to tell you. Paige was she was going to a concert. She went to a Post Malone concert last night. And so she was like changing out her purse, to like get into like a smaller one for the venue.
Yep.
And she's like looking through the purse and she finds this quarter. And she's like, it's kind of a cool looking quarter. Like, what's this? She flips it over to me and it's like one of those like commemorative quarters that has like some historical person on the back. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I've never seen it. So like I looked it up. Bro, this quarter apparently is super rare because there's a typo on it.
What?
It says instead of "in God we trust," it says "in COD we trust" with a C instead of a G. I looked it up.
Is this like fish people?
It's being sold for like $2,500 on eBay. On the low end, it's like $900.
How positive are you that you're just not misreading this quarter? I mean, because a G and
I took it to my dad's house yesterday, and he has like one of those little magnifying glass things. I used that, and I took a picture. And I like zoomed all the way in. You can absolutely see. It's a C.
Dude, okay. I'm looking, I Googled "in COD we trust," which is unfortunate now because now I'm going to just get weird like fish people cult ads asking me to join their like Facebook group. The first result that I'm seeing, the phrase "in COD we trust" on a U.S. quarter is a playful alteration of the official motto "in God we trust." It's not an official coin, but rather a humorous error that has gained some popularity among collectors. While some believe these coins are valuable due to the error, most are likely worth only their face value of 25 cents. So what
2024 D Zitkala SA in COD We Trust error recorder being sold for $2,500.
Okay, being sold. I could list this pen on eBay for $9 million.
Look it up.
What are they selling for?
Look it up, bro.
Like, what have they sold for, rather?
I don't know how to find that information.
That's what I need to know.
Seeing $1,000 on eBay, $949 on eBay.
They sold for that much?
I don't know. How do you find stuff that's sold? It's anything that's being sold.
You should be able to filter it, but to know what's.
I'm using the Google machine. I don't have an eBay account, guy. I didn't know eBay was still alive.
All right. Well, if you just disappear off the face of the map because you
blame the COD people, they're coming for me.
No, I was going to say because you just inherited millions of dollars from this COD quarter.
I'd appreciate that.
And we'll know why you disappeared. But
Inspired. Anyway, how do you find sold? Frequently bought together.
That's not it.
That's not it.
My brother, there's got to just filter it.
Filter what, guy?
Oh, let me do it.
Thank you. One job.
All right. In COD We Trust, sort by
put in Zitkala quarter.
Zitkala?
Yeah, that's the lady on the back. Looks like that.
Okay.
She's a big deal, bro. You're not on a quarter.
Well, I think this is a fake quarter, so does it really make a difference? Okay, I filtered it by sold. Hold on. Zitkala.
Just bring me good news. I need a new couch.
Zitkala filtered by sold. Okay, do you want me to read you the prices?
Yeah.
For the prices they've sold?
Yeah.
$3.50. $4.99.
$499.
$4.99. $15.
We're getting there. It's climbing.
$2.
Can you sort this by highest? Talking about filter coming at me.
The highest, you said, we're getting higher. That was the highest. It was $15. That's the highest it is sold for.
So you're telling me these people on eBay are just like, I think this is worth $2,500.
Yeah, that's like eBay 101. You can list it for anything you want, but it's what's important to know what the real value and worth is. You gotta look at what it's sold for, because that's what the market that's the interest that the market has in it.
Well, I don't like your answers.
I mean, hey, $15 still. I mean, that's like a
big return.
That's a Chipotle bowl for one of you.
No guac.
So I mean, hey, Kyle Tucker just went deep.
This could push him over the edge.
Kyle Tucker just went deep.
He trusts in COD.
All right, let's revisit the let's revisit the ballot here. No, I'm not doing that. Anyway.
No.
Yeah, not doing that. We're done. But yeah, good luck in your dealings with the cult fish people.
Thanks. I'll find someone who really cares about it. I don't need you putting me down.
Care for it. $15 worth.
No.
Hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth.
Yeah, I'm looking at about 2 G's.
You're not selling it for 2 G's. Anyway, good luck. Have a good week, folks. That's all I got.
When you see those curveballs out there, don't go chasing them.
Yeah, Laura in the chat, it says they're fake. Yeah, you don't know. You're sorry. You don't
know, Laura.
You're being Nate, you're being misled. You don't know. We love y'all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.